There's a couple of different ways to live your dreams. One is to work your tail off to manifest lots of money and external success. And the other is to live in alignment and keep your needs modest and to live simply and to be able to be more agile, flexible, and nimble. So that is the path that I chose. I live more simply.
What if the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? What lies within you is the power to live brighter, bolder, and truer than ever before. So welcome to Vivatude, where caregiving, connections, and career come into balance and where your vitality, vision, and voice shines through. Because the revolution isn't out there, it's already within you. Welcome to Vivatude.
This is Kate Phillips. Welcome back to Vivatude, and I'm speaking with my co-host Lauren Archer here about all things Vivatude, creating the life that inspires you, even when we might have challenges such as caregiving. Or one of the challenges I like to talk about is we plan something and then the plan gets all messed up and then we start again. I talk about the concept of the new retirement paradigm because we have an existing retirement paradigm in our culture where we are, the whole idea you're going to get your corporate job, you're going to work that corporate job for decades, you're going to max out your 401k, and you're going to end up with, maybe 1.5, $2 million in a retirement account, and then we quit cold turkey and live happily ever after. I'm here to say I'm not on board with that model. It works for some people, it works beautifully for some people, but I advocate, especially for those of us that we've had caregiving, or maybe there's divorce, there's a period of unemployment, we change careers, we start a business, we have a medical diagnosis, and things don't go according to plan A. Plan B, it doesn't have to be plan A didn't work, so I guess I'm going to do plan B. Plan B can be a beautiful, even an evolution of what we thought we were going to do. And I love, one thing I do with my clients is teach them how to be creative with their homes. We all think, oh, we've got a mortgage, we're going to pay until the mortgage is paid off, and then maybe I'll retire. But people are living abroad, not only retiring abroad, but living abroad even before retirement for all kinds of reasons, some of them financial, some of them for other things. And Lauren is one of the people doing this creative lifestyle. She lives part-time in Washington State, part-time in Thailand. Tell us about that, Lauren.
Well, that is a relatively new experience. We did a test last year and spent 6 months in Thailand on kind of a reconnaissance mission. Can we do this? Do we want to do this? If so, where do we do this? How do we do this? And, this did not just happen overnight. My beloved partner and I have been together 14 years now. Before that, I walked away from an 18-year marriage, and I've got my own story of being, with no spousal support, trying to make it go in a little apartment. I walked away from the house that my ex and I built together, and I had my moments of really being scared. And so, from a financial wellness perspective, there is a lot of emotional regulation and self-regulation, and as within, so without, and beliefs that needed to be shifted. So that's a whole other chapter. But the way I think about it, there's a couple of different ways to live your dreams. One is to work your tail off to manifest lots of money and external success. And the other is to live in alignment and keep your needs modest and to live simply and to be able to be more agile, flexible, and nimble. So that is the path that I chose. I live more simply. I try to, there's a quote by Lao Tzu. It says, "To know when you have enough is to be rich beyond measure." It's one of my favorite quotes.
Oh, I
And
love that.
yeah. My partner Christian was born and raised here in the Seattle area. And when we first started dating, we thought, okay, if we could set a dream, a goal together, it would be to live maybe 3 months in a tropical location. So that's been kind of dangling. And we've traveled modestly. We fly economy, right? We go all over the world and we look for, could we live here? Could we live here? Ultimately, for us, Thailand, Southeast Asia is the right place for now for a variety of reasons. It's warm. It's the people are so gracious and polite and loving, and there's just a vibe. There's a sense of peace. And the difference between abundance mindset and scarcity mindset, I really notice here in the United States, at least in the community that I've been in, there feels like there's this scarcity mindset, and we're working as fast as we can, and we're running on our little treadmills, and we're trying to like keep it all together, and we're exhausted. And
Yeah, yeah. Work faster, go harder.
yeah, yeah, and even, traveling, but the first time it's like, I don't know, what do I have to bring? I'm gonna be in a third world country, they're not gonna have anything. It's like, no, they have stores, they have everything. You go to the markets, oh my gosh, the level of abundance is absolutely staggering, and that's even, from food to little tchotchkes to everything you need. So for me, I was able to kind of breathe this sigh of relief and realize, I can live on a lot less. I can relax a
Yes.
little bit and enjoy a beautiful quality of life.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I know that one of the things you are doing, and you're the only other person I know who's doing what I'm doing, which is having a midterm rental, turning our homes into a midterm rental. Typically, if you're going to rent out your home, you'll do a long-term rental and the house is vacant and somebody signs a year-long lease. And then we're also familiar with kind of the opposite end model, which is like an Airbnb, where maybe you're rent like a short-term rental. But you and I are both doing a midterm rental, which means it's furnished, it's a month or longer. You're leaving your stuff, or at least most of it. I'm sure there's some things that are locked away in storage, but you're leaving your stuff and sharing your home with, a stranger that comes into your house, well, they're not a stranger by the time they've signed a lease. But tell me about that.
Yeah, that was a new experience for us. And as you well know, having moved through it now, the biggest piece, I think, was the emotional and energetic preparation to not be attached, to remove all of the pretty little things, right, that have so much meaning. We gave away a lot. And, now at my age, I'm looking at what am I going to take with me? What are my children going to want? They're not necessarily going to want, grandma's dishes. So, right, being willing to let go of a lot of things. And we came back this summer after doing a 6-month midterm rental and didn't want to put a lot of things back because we appreciate the lightness, the simplicity, the
Mhm.
cleanliness. But yes, that's worked out to be a very effective model, and you get a different quality of tenant. Short term, they might come in for a party, a bachelor party or bachelorette party, who knows, right? Long term, again, you have to totally clear it. But this way, we get to kind of keep a foot in each world. And it was really fun creating a space that I think someone else is going to enjoy.
I love it. You're so speaking my language because I literally have my grandmother's china place, and I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do with this? I've been decluttering, and that emotional, releasing the emotional attachment. Again, I think that's been harder than the physical decluttering. So, but it creates a whole new possibility for life. We'll be back with Lauren in just a couple minutes here on Vivatude.
And thanks for listening. to Vivatude. 4 hosts, 1 each week. We help you revivitude your next chapter because purpose, passion, and prosperity isn't out there. They're already within you. Brighter, bolder, truer. Vivatude.